In the past 2 years, Chinese phone brands have all adopted the island feature except for Xiaomi, which used a focus notification. At that time, my impression of Xiaomi changed. It had its own character, not following trends or the mainstream. Now, with the release of HyperOS, not only did they create a Xiaomi Super Island, but they also renamed the next generation flagship to 17. Overnight, it seems that the Xiaomi that benchmarked Apple from head to toe is back. With Xiaomi now on the island, I think the 4 major players have finally completed their island landing mission. So the question is, who has the best island? We've brought together the flagship models from the 4 giants this year for a face-to-face showdown. All systems have been upgraded to the latest version, with Xiaomi running the beta version of HyperOS. Without further ado, let's get started. The island landing animation reveals the strategic and design differences of each brand. macOS throws a window up, which is then directly absorbed onto the island, then expands into a capsule shape to display the content. HyperOS throws the application up, and a mask is directly applied to the window, which then shrinks into a capsule shape. While switching the displayed content, it follows a parabolic motion to the front camera position to officially land on the island. For ColorOS, the application is thrown up, and a mask is also applied midway to shrink it into a capsule. During this process, the displayed content also changes, followed by the continuous action of officially landing on the island. With OriginOS, the application is thrown up, the application's aspect ratio remains unchanged, and the content shrinks onto the island with the capsule appearing simultaneously. HyperOS's island landing animation is the smoothest one. The transition and connection are done very well. I personally think it has surpassed its Android predecessors who adopted the island feature earlier. With Honor's Magic Capsule, a single tap expands it into a card state. Tapping it again opens the application. If the Magic Capsule is in the pull-down card state, you cannot open the application in a small window. If you don't tap the card, it will automatically revert to the Magic Capsule, which is quite fruity, Apple-like. The overall animation is quite excellent, just lacking a bit of that bouncy feel. HyperOS chooses to move the same island down and transform it into a rounded rectangle without a shrinking and re-expanding process. While expanding, it also has a swipe down to expand small window feature, which is typical Android thinking, wanting the best of both worlds. I wonder what Apple would think of this, which doesn't have small window. Also, swiping up to exit the small window will smoothly return to the Hyper Island. The consistency in switching between the 3 forms, Super Island, small window, and full screen window, is done very well. Additionally, Hyper Island can now accommodate up to 3 applications. A single tap will pull down and expand the card, simultaneously displaying the second application in capsule form and the third in circular form. The smoothness of this animation, wow. Is this still HyperOS? Is this something Hyper Island is capable of? Next, let's experience OPPO's Fluid Cloud. Swiping left and right can switch between different applications. After tapping the Fluid Cloud, a card will appear below the camera, not wrapping around the front camera. It also has a background blur effect, unlike Apple's Solid Black. It can also stack pull-down cards for up to 4 tasks, but you can't open them in a small window. Now let's look at Vivo's Atomic Island. When we tap the Atomic Island, it directly expands from the island into a card shape. Swiping up brings another application to the island, and the previous island turns into a sphere. Swiping left or right can only switch between these 2 applications. You can't open a small window from the pull-down card. Atomic Island has been polished for a long time, but it still feels pretty much the same as before. It has the minor flaw of unsmooth animation transitions, especially with the Atomic Island after opening the voice recorder. When you tap other areas to bounce back, the notification bar icon plays hide and seek, suddenly popping out very abruptly. When swiping up to exit Atomic Island, the animation also shows frame drops. The above is a comparison of each brand's UI. Now let's compare their functional differences. First is the food delivery notification display feature. All of them can show the remaining time before a food order arrives, allowing real-time checking the delivery status without entering the app. In terms of food delivery app compatibility, all 4 phones have adapted to mainstream delivery apps, so the overall experience is pretty similar. For navigation, the experience of Honor and Vivo are very close. They show how many meters to go forward and the remaining distance. Tapping it will enlarge it into a card display. Honor will show the specific direction, remaining mileage, and time. Vivo also shows the forward direction and mileage. After tapping the notification, Xiaomi also enlarges it into a card, showing the forward direction and mileage. The display logic of each brand is very similar. In the Fluid Cloud state, OPPO will also show the forward direction and distance travel. Tapping it will display more detailed navigation information, including which road to take and how much of the journey has been completed. Tapping it again will take you to the navigation page. In terms of visual effects and information density, I think Xiaomi does a better job. The island experience for music apps is both similar and different across the brand. What's similar is that the music rhythm animation is pre-recorded by all of them. Among the secondary cards of the 4 phones, I think OPPO has the highest aesthetic value. It looks the best. The frosted glass texture is very comfortable to look at. I have a small suggestion here. Chengxi, take a look. Isn't there a red heart for favorites missing in the bottom left corner? Adding it would make it more balanced. Honor is the most comprehensive in terms of operational interaction, but the animations and appearance appearance are not good enough yet. Okay, let's wrap it up with a summary. After hands-on experience in multiple scenarios, everyone should have a general understanding of the dynamic island-like features of these 4 systems. Honor's Magic Capsule is very comprehensive and complete, whether in terms of the types and number of compatible apps or its functions and interaction. It just needs to improve its design aesthetics. Xiaomi's Hyper Island can truly be called the ultimate evolution. Its animations and smoothness are completely unlike one would expect from HyperOS. The pull-down to expand small window feature is a direct knockout to Apple. HyperOS's Super Island has its own characteristics and advantages. It's not a direct copy. OPPO's Fluid Cloud has a very high aesthetic value. Both its animations and smoothness are top-notch. If it weren't for the latecomer Hyper Island, the fruity throne would belong to OPPO. But in terms of aesthetics, OPPO still has a slight edge. Vivo's Atomic Island is the same as it was at the beginning of the year. Excellent design sense, but the animations are just bluntly fast. There is still room for improvement in the animation department. The dynamic island has been around for many years, and manufacturers have realized that it's not just to cover up a notch, but a brand new interaction logic that doesn't obstruct the current Windows content while keeping necessary information always accessible. Alright, that's all for this video. Thank you all for watching patiently. See you next time. Bye bye.